Example number 3 is Zack. We're going to say that Zack is a 32-year-old male. He's an accountant. He's a dad. He has a couple kids. He is 6'1", and he is 220 pounds. I'm going to say that from a progress picture he sent me, he looks to be probably 28% body fat. The little higher body fat than we want, but nothing crazy. He's probably not obese. His goal is to lose body fat mass while preserving his muscle mass. His goal weight is to get to 200 pounds, down from 220 pounds. We're going to say that Zack sends me a generic workout program that he got online, but he isn't super consistent with it. Zack just wants to be healthier for his wife and for his kids, but he struggles a lot with consistency and with food cravings. Zack played baseball when he was a teenager, and he enjoys lifting weights now. He lifts weights in the mornings 2 to 4 times per week. Again, he's not very consistent. He has access to a standard commercial gym. He spends about 75 minutes each workout. He has no injuries that affect his training, and he lives only a few minutes from his gym. Now, another thing that I've included on here, back when I read the original new client questionnaire, was what are some of your favorite forms of exercise, physical activity? Of course, we know for Noah, it was soccer. That's what Noah loves to do, is he plays soccer. For Ryan, he just loves weightlifting, and his goal, I always encourage, even if you're bulking, you should do some sort of cardio to keep your heart healthy. And again, I'm sure I would have gotten into that, but that wasn't quite the point of our discussion with Ryan. It was how to get him lots of calories. But anyway, Zack, I've asked him what types of exercise he enjoys. He enjoys lifting weights in the mornings. He enjoys playing with his kids at the park and things, and he likes playing basketball with his friends occasionally. All those are great examples of physical activity. Zack does not have any metabolic illnesses. He spends $60 to $75 on groceries each week, and he eats 3 meals a day. He eats out 1 to 4 times per week. He does not use protein powder, but he is willing to, if I think it's a good tool for him. He does not have any allergies, but he dislikes mushrooms. He does not have any special food patterns. He's willing to change whatever he needs, he tells me. He doesn't really have favorite foods that he specifically wants to keep in his diet, but he wants a balanced diet. He gets a lot of his protein from dairy, chicken, and fish. His favorite vegetables are broccoli, carrots, and cucumbers. His favorite fruits are berries, grapes, apples, and oranges. And he does drink some alcohol on the weekends. Now, he sent me an example day of eating. It's just 3 meals. He says for breakfast, he has a black coffee. He has yogurt and berries. He says for lunch, he has usually leftovers from dinner last night. On this specific day, it was leftovers taco salad. So he had some lettuce, of course, on that salad. He had some ground beef, some 90-10 ground beef. He had some tortilla chips with it, some sour cream, some cheese, and some salsa. For dinner, he had salmon, he had spinach, and he had some potatoes. And the salmon and the potatoes were both cooked in a little bit of olive oil. And that's his full day of eating. Now, if you look at that, coffee and yogurt, taco salad, and then salmon and potatoes. And that's all he ate in a day. That's a great day of eating. He's getting lots of protein. It's relatively nutrient dense. He should be losing weight and reaching his goals with this diet. But he tells me that oftentimes, in addition to, this day of eating that he has, he'll kind of, in the evenings, he'll eat ice cream. He'll have cookies, or sometimes he'll go to fast food for lunch if, there weren't leftovers from dinner the last night. So really what he's struggling with is consistency. It seems like he knows what's good for him, but he's struggling with consistency. Now, looking at Zack at 6'1" and 220 pounds, his total daily energy expenditure is going to be $2,800 to $3,000, depending on his activity level. And that full day of eating is 2,000 calories. So he should be losing weight at a pretty good pace, but that is not including his inconsistencies. That's not including if he went to McDonald's for lunch instead of eating his taco salad. That's not including if he had ice cream or cookies for dessert at night. And so 2,000 calories, but it's probably not that on a lot of days. He is eating 178 grams of protein, which isn't too bad. I'm happy with that. Maybe we'll get it a little higher, but that's not bad. It's having 156 grams of carbs and 80 grams of fat. However, his diet is deficient in vitamin C and vitamin E. Again, as I've said, it's very common to be deficient in vitamin E when you're trying to restrict calories. Now, for breakfast, what I want to do with him is just kind of, let me start over. For his meal plan, as I revamp his nutrition, I want to actually sort of increase his calories from that day of eating that he sent me so that we can make his diet a little more enjoyable so that the deficit is not as strict and so that he can be more consistent with it. So starting off, he's going to have, his same black coffee, and then he's going to have Greek yogurt and berries. So rather than normal yogurt, we're going to have him have some Greek yogurt so that he gets a little more protein. I'm also going to have Zack, after his workouts in the morning, have a protein shake, just protein powder and water. Then for lunch, we'll say that he has a very similar, day. Say it's the same taco salad, right? He says that usually he has leftovers. I'd probably talk with him about that and see if we could make something a little more structured for his lunch rather than just having leftovers. But if he's having healthy dinners that I'm helping him plan, then he's having leftovers from those for lunch the next day, it should be pretty good. In the example of his taco salad, I want to increase the amount of beef that he has on it just by a little bit. Say if he was consuming 8 ounces of beef before, I want him to consume 10 ounces now. And rather than consuming 90-10 ground beef, I want him to consume 93-7 ground beef. Then, as he has the tortilla chips on his taco salad, I want him to just cut the amount of tortilla chips in half. Then, I want him to use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, and then he can keep the cheese and the lettuce and the salsa all the same, add some hot sauce on there for flavor if that's what he likes. Then, I want him to have a snack before dinner. Between lunch and dinner, have a snack of 2 clementines and an ounce of either almonds or sunflower seeds. Now, again, if he didn't want to do that and he preferred to take a vitamin E supplement, he would save 150 calories. And I understand the desire to want to do that for many people. And I'm not going to be upset with him if that's something that he chooses to do. However, I think that it is inappropriate for a nutrition coach to write a diet plan that does not try to address all of the micronutrient needs that a person has. In fact, many gym bros out there will try to write a nutrition plan for you, but it will pretty much just be have this many calories and this much protein. And there's really no attention spared to the micronutrients and the fiber and the phytochemicals that you can get from fruits and vegetables that are really going to improve your mood and your well-being and your long-term health. Anyways, 2 clementines and an ounce of almonds or sunflower seeds for his snack. For dinner, we're going to let him have the exact same dinner. We're just going to have some salmon, some spinach, some potatoes cooked in olive oil. But then, where we're at now is at 2,100 calories with all of that food that I've listed. And what I want to do now is let him have a 300-calorie dessert of whatever he wants. And hopefully that's a tool that helps him stay a little more consistent. If you kind of make room for a portion of your favorite junk foods, if you make room for some of those, then it's just going to help you be more consistent. So his calorie deficit is going to be a little smaller, but again, that's going to help him be more consistent. He has a little bit of room for dessert. He's having another snack, and he's having a protein shake that is hopefully helping him keep it full throughout his day. And so at the end of the day, let's say he has a 300-calorie chocolate chip cookie. He's going to be consuming 2,400 calories, 200 grams of protein, which is up a little bit and probably good for where he's at, 190 grams of carbs, and 95 grams of fat. And that is with no micronutrient deficiencies as well.